fairly obvious, innocuous assessment and analysis, okay? The fact is, too, that if Hillary Clinton wanted to change those debate rules, she could simply say, as the leader, I'm not going to abide by them. Who's with me? And you'd have to be a moron to be Martin O'Malley and say, not me. I'm going to.
Good O'Malley impression.
Yeah.
And I'm not even joking.
Oh.
That is actually a good O'Malley impression.
And Bernie Sanders, of course, would be like, yeah, you want to have multiple debates? I'll have multiple debates. And when Martin O'Malley complained about it at the DNC, and Bernie Sanders sort of echoed it, but didn't harp on it too much, Hillary Clinton said, we'd be happy to have more debates if the DNC sanctions them. Because then what happens is the DNC's laws become a fig leaf, right? It's the functional equivalent of me saying to my mom, look, Michael Brooks is going to ask me to go out with him. I don't want to go out with him. Can you just say I can't go out? And we get on the phone, and Michael calls.
Demented analogy, Jesus.
All right, I know I hurt your feelings. Matt calls me. Can you just say I'm not allowed to go out with him? Matt, I'd go out with you, but I'm not allowed to because my mom said I can't. It's a classic. It's whatever. It's the car salesman says to the management, I got to talk to the manager, and they pretend they walk up over there, and it's the same thing. That's what she was doing. It was a fig leaf. But now the tables have shifted. And there is, Hillary Clinton clearly feels that there's a concern that she may not win New Hampshire. Or maybe she's concerned that she may lose Iowa and wants to stop the bleeding, because we know that the New Hampshire debate, by all accounts, provided a huge shift in momentum in the 2008 race. And in fact, let's play this clip from Hayes last night, and I think I cover some of this.
Joining me now, Sam Seder, MSNBC contributor, host of The Majority Report. I mean, first, okay, what is your reaction to all this?
Opposite day. No, look, I think to a certain extent, the DNC and the Clinton campaign is hoisted by their own petard here. I mean, because, look, everybody knew that the DNC had shut down the debate process, and the idea, it was quite clear who it was going to benefit, right? It's the presumptive leader. I mean, that's quite obvious.
Yes, I mean, let's just say, this iron law I talked about, no one has actual principles about debates in campaigns. Everyone should understand this. The person behind wants more debates, the person ahead doesn't want debates.
Absolutely. I mean, the issue is what the DNC was doing in the midst of this, because they've done some unprecedented things in terms of the DNC's history, in terms of saying if you participate in an unsanctioned debate, we're going to lock you out. And so now you have this problem where the Clinton campaign is sort of tacitly admitting that they were the ones who were preventing more debates, right? Because they're saying, well, we're agreeing to a debate, so obviously we should be able to have one. I think Clinton's spokesperson said that. Well, now Bernie Sanders is saying, well, we're just going to go by the rules as they've been. And the head of the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, has got this problem because she can't be seen to be waffling because she's pretending this is just the principle, and it shouldn't have anything to do with the Clinton.
Well, and it also exposes the ridiculousness of the whole thing, because I think it was Nick Confessori, a New York Times reporter, said, I look forward to seeing the DNC bar Hillary Clinton from future debates if she participates in this one. Like, we all know that's ridiculous. Ergo, we all know that the rules that were created don't really exist in any meaningful sense, because ultimately it's all power, right?
Right. Well, they have worked up until this moment as a fig leaf for the Clinton campaign to sort of do a four corners type of slightly, let's slow this thing down.
And yet the irony is that every time that Hillary Clinton has extended periods in front of big audiences, whether it's been the debates or the Benghazi committee hearing, she has acquitted herself quite well.
And I'd argue for the extended period of time where she wasn't in front of people, it was hurting her.
Right.
So, I mean, I think this was a tactical mistake by the Clinton campaign, and now it's coming back to basically hurt them because...
But then isn't Sanders also on the same... I mean, Sanders was saying there should be more debates. He is sort of boxed in now, right? I mean...
Well, he is to a certain extent. I mean, he's dragging his feet a little bit. He's simply deferring to the rules that he's always been deferring to.
You now have Bernie Sanders and Debbie Wasserman Schultz over here.
Right. And really, the real problem is for the DNC. How do they shift at this point, at this late date, without looking like they were sort of, their principles were a little bit less than rigid?
The other thing now is, if the dam breaks here, well then there's going to be a flood, right? I mean, if the dam breaks here, if they do this, let's say, if Sanders wins one of those first 2 states, if, we're going to talk about this in a second, if he were to win both, 2 states, well then all of a sudden, now we
ready
can
for more
put him on the board. Let's
do a couple in South Carolina.
That's right.
Right. I mean, so this is a real a problem, I think, for the DNC in particular, and to a certain extent for the Clinton campaign, because again, if they come back and Sanders says, okay, we're going to do the same thing, we want another debate, and the Clinton campaign says, well, we're a little bit. I mean, it's a real problem. It was a miscalculation, a big miscalculation from the very beginning, and I think anti-democratic in some ways, and small d.
All right, Sam Seder, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
And so at that time, and I want to make that clear, that at that time, Bernie Sanders had yet to sort of come out and say that anything other than we're going to go by what the DNC sanctions. and so understand this is what happened. The Clintons had a fig leaf, and that was the DNC. And the problem is that when the polling changed, that fig leaf was still there. And Bernie Sanders could say, like, well, that fig leaf is still there. I'm going to step behind it now. And the Clinton campaign has nothing to say about it. Let me give you a quote from what Hillary Clinton's spokesperson said. Hillary Clinton would be happy to participate in a debate in New Hampshire if the other candidates agree, which would allow the DNC to sanction the debate. Clinton spokeswoman Jennifer Palmieri. Understand what she's saying here. We could have had debates all along because Martin O'Malley and Bernie Sanders wanted more debates. They're publicly on record of saying that. But now that we would be happy to participate in a debate in New Hampshire if the other candidates agree, the DNC would be allowed to sanction the debate. I mean, she just gave up the game there. And I personally want to see a debate in New Hampshire. But just like I wasn't sitting here whining about Hillary Clinton exercising her power, I wanted to see debates all the time. I wanted to see more debates. In fact, I think it was a mistake. And I said at the time when the thing came out, when the schedule came out, that it's a mistake not to have more debates, that it would hurt Hillary Clinton. And I think it did. I think it did hurt Hillary Clinton.